Hey, we're live. Look, we're live. We got a little Russia's airport, JFK, chill out, huge line of carts, style chat. Let's see if this actually works. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, we got viewers. So this idiot chose to go unlisted when I first streamed at 1 p.m. Noticed and corrected. So, people coming in, let's see. Aha, hold on. Guess who? Joe. Hey Joe, how are you doing? So, Billy and I are sat here at the airport. Billy's gone for the very cultured look. New York Times. Did you just buy this specifically so you looked cultured?
Yeah, I'm not even going to read it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's really for Charlie. So we survived our first Iron City Classic. Absolutely mega. Flew in on Wednesday. We got our connecting flights cancelled on Wednesday. How was that?
How was what?
How was the cancellations on our flights?
New hashtag FDelta.
Yeah, we aren't Delta fans. We've now finished flying with Delta for the rest of our lives, I would say.
Yep.
So
hashtag bring it home Virgin.
there we go. Yep, there we go. Waiting on our Virgin flight from JFK back to Manchester. What an adventure. Iron City Classic was brutal, was gritty, was absolutely everything that we'd hoped for and expected. So, Andy Long, how bad is the paint staining on the hand? Seen a few people post about that. Okay, this is the paint staining on my hand. Let's just say that those who have this paint staining on Billy's hand. Let's just say that those that have paint staining on their hands were maybe caught pink-handed. So it was brutal. If you chose to play the grayer side of the grey, you had very pink hands. We saw a lot of pink people, a lot of brutality in the sense of there were Mexican standoffs at, classic rates of fire, which was great. We had a great one on the Mountfield against Farside Sunday lunchtime, and that was a real gritty game. Ayo, no, we've made it to JFK. We're out of Pittsburgh. I think Dave is on his way to JFK as well, so we're getting there. Great event, and we feel as though we held our own for the most part. I think a few things let us down. The heat was insane. It was intense and relentless, and Friday when the guys were playing the 5-man, we really had to work overtime to stay hydrated just to keep pace and compete, really. That said, as brutal as Friday was in that respect, it set us up really well for Saturday, and consequently that stood us in pretty good stead for Sunday. So we played 6 prelim games on Saturday. We won 3, we stalemated 2, and we lost to Image in the Woods, who eventually finished second overall in the entire event. So we don't feel bad about that. I think at the end of Saturday we were 4th in the group. Is that right? 4th in our prelim group? At the end of Saturday.
Yeah, end of Saturday, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. We
Actually?
sat 3rd or 4th. So we knew that Sunday morning we had to win both of our games. Did the flight delays impact the team in any way? Not really. Other than financially, because the flights were cancelled because of weather, nothing was covered. So we had a hotel that we paid for that we weren't using, and we had to pay for another hotel that we needed to use. So that was pretty brutal. Other than that, we just made the best of it. What did we do Wednesday night? Oh, the boys went out to Manhattan Wednesday night, so
Yep.
a bit of team bonding. And then Thursday was, just a travel day and get everybody to the right place by Thursday night was the mission. Other than that, nothing detrimental. We kind of sacrificed the luxury of having a really, really good look at the fields. And in hindsight, I think we'd all have preferred to have had more time on all of the fields together, because it was a little rushed, segmented, etc. And although we played them in the 5-man, it wasn't the same as they played in the 10-man. Everything changed for the 10-man. Let me just check I've not missed any. Let's see. Okay. Bum bum bum. Hey, no problem for the Albert Outpost. So, hey Ian, how you doing? It was just one of those fantastic bucket list experiences that we're all so grateful we've enjoyed together, if that makes sense. And it was a real eye-opener. I think some things we expected and other things caught us completely by surprise. The aggressiveness of the American teams was relentless. I would say we're probably one of the more aggressive woodland teams that play the game. We're probably one of the more proactive teams where even if we're numbers down, we're still going to try and come for you and make something happen. But even when we try and do that at home in the UK, it's normally one-dimensional. It's normally one tape, it's normally one position, a couple of players. And part of that is because we're typically playing 5-man, right? One of the huge kind of wake-up calls, if you like, over here was that the American teams just kept coming. It was relentless. It was, it wasn't, oh, okay, they're going to push down the sub side or the snake side or whatever. It was just across the board, across the field. It was, we're coming for you. And, they were going hard. I mean, one thing that surprised us was, how would you grade the hardness of the ground?
It's like playing in a car park.
It's like, oh, I'm laughing because it's funny. It's literally, the hyperball field on the snake side was literally concrete and, rocks. And I think when we all stepped on there for the first time, we're all like, this is going to hurt. And yet no other team was bothered. Not one. It was just like, cool, this is normal, this is what we're used to, we're just going to get on with it and do it. And, that's just, that shift in mentality was huge. I think it was Ian posted some ideas for GCC too, tons of ideas. I think there's so many. What's really interesting is Grand Central Classic was a huge learning curve. There were things that worked out great. There were other things that, can be improved upon so easily. ICC was far from a perfect event. I mean, we started some games where, it was far from a perfect event, but it was accepted and appreciated because of everything that's good far outweighed everything that any minuscule little negative. There were some really cool things that they did, like every field had designated dead boxes that were, where possible they were next to each other. Outside of each dead box was an area where you had to put your marker so that you avoided dead players shooting into the field and affecting the game, etc., etc. Things like that, really cool. The armband thing, it was made very clear. You were responsible for your armband. As soon as you're shot out, remove it. Because if you still have an armband on and you're walking around willy-nilly, expect to get shot. There were tons of cool things. there's still a lot to digest and a ton of information to process. I mean, we started every morning. We left the hotel 20 to 6. We were on site at 6, which was our favourite field. Woods Hyperball or the Weird Field. 100% favourite field was Hyperball. A little interesting statistic for you that I'm sure Billy would love to share. Almost our 10-man Hyperball ICC record.
Undefeated.
Undefeated. 2-0. 2-0. And would you have liked to have played Hyperball Sunday for our knockout games?
Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah.
Really going into that would have been awesome.
We honestly feel that if our knockout games on Sunday after the cut had been on Hyperball, we could have taken both of those teams. Mounds was just crazy chaos, and you know, great. We didn't embrace it as fully as we needed to come out with the results that, you know, we needed to progress. We take full responsibility for that. We take full accountability for that, and we dropped the ball in that respect. Hyperball, because we had the visuals, and you know, we had bunker names locked down, etc. I mean, the reality of playing the Mounds field was, you were looking, it was like whack-a-mole. You were looking for goggles just popping up and loaders popping up. But you, most of the time, you couldn't tell which mound they were in. You could just tell which kind of area they were in. And that was pretty tough. Hyperball we had pretty locked down. And it was just more our type of field. That said, we had some standout games on the mounds. Dave Simpson put in a shift early on our first prelim game. Billy Smith did work. We had some craziness from, you know, Charlie and Ed Matthews as well. Sam Telfer had a great last man stand against Far Side, and you know, just brilliant fun. Hyperball though was the cherry on top for me, and I think for the team. I think we all felt most comfortable on Hyperball. The Woodland field was huge. It was vast. I mean, we needed Forrest Gump really to just keep on running and getting into 50s off the bat. It was huge. A great game against Image on there. Real pleasure to play those guys. Real pleasure to play all the teams actually. So, I mean, huge shout out to teams like BTA Butchers. Who else was super cool with us when we were? Who we played? Thunder Horse, New York Ghosts as well. Super cool guys.
Big shout out to New York Ghosts.
Yeah,
really cool guys.
Yeah,
Jets, all of them.
Chris and all the guys. So, Chris
guys
Jones.
at Adrenaline, they were really cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, all the boys at AAs. Shout out, especially the lads.
We didn't get to play them, sadly. So, yeah, I mean, we were super lucky that so many people looked after us so well. So, I mean, thanks, Chris from Virtue, for letting us store all our gear bags, etc. overnight, pod bags. We used coolers for paint, which is probably the first time most of us have ever needed to do that for ourselves, right? So, it was awesome. We had a drinks cooler. Nothing was too much trouble for the guys, and that was greatly appreciated. Let's just make sure I have not missed any. Oh. Thank you, Paul. Hey, Tafty. Pete says you guys rocked. Tell us about the hybrid field. Hybrid field. Hybrid field was kind of like a little bit like the helicopter field at Homebush, in that the huts were very similar, and you had 5 or 6 huts in total, plus a kind of a central wall on the 50. You say that was accurate? Oh, and some mounds. Yeah. Mounds, bushes. There was a bit of everything, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was good. Lived up to the name hybrid.
Very hybrid. Very hybrid. There was some kind of black. Oh, it was almost like the support.
Pallet crate.
Yeah, pallet crates. Oh, I just missed something coming in. Let's see. Bum, bum, bum. Come on, phone. Thanks, Tafty. I mean, we feel we've done ourselves proud. We feel we've put in a good kind of, here's our starter for 10. Any injuries on the team? No, we didn't bring George, so we came out unscathed, didn't we?
Yeah, no injuries.
So, no injuries. No new injuries, right? Just age.
Yeah,
So,
what are we talking about? Yeah, George has hurt himself while we've been away.
George may have injured himself watching us on Go Sports.
Yeah, I think he definitely hurt himself in front of the telly. Love you, George.
So, no injuries actually. I think everybody who came out is probably feeling it a little bit more today. So it's quite nice not to be hurling ourselves into the ground today.
Yeah, 3 days. 3 days is enough. You know, that's more than enough. Sunday club is tiring for sure.
Highlight of Iron City Classic?
Playing hyperball. A highlight will probably be the Thunder Horse game, I think, because we knew that they were going to be a tough team. They were super tough. I mean, they were down on bodies and they still came at us. Great bunch of guys as well. Really, we like them. They're cool. And then playing the 5-man on hyperball. I'm playing against Adrenaline, getting bunkered out by my boy Eric Dearman. Thanks for that. But yeah, those are the main highlights. I reckon they're all around the hyperball for me.
I'd agree with that. Probably off-field highlight yesterday afternoon. The atmosphere watching finals.
Very good.
Amazing. Amazing.
No
you know,
losers.
No
That's kind of
losers.
It felt like, you know, everybody. If you're at the event, you just felt like a winner, just because there were so many people there. Nostalgia was really high, and to see so many old faces that we haven't bumped into. We've even recreated some old photos with people like Weasel from his days in Avalanche and now GZ.
We should do it then and now on the Russia's page.
Yeah, we should do it. Go to the Russia's page
Yeah.
and we'll upload that probably tomorrow.
There you go. I see people kind of commenting, oh, I need to go so bad. Honestly, you just need to do it. Don't talk about it, actually commit and do it. The reason that we came this year is because we committed. You know, we got in quick with the entry fee and the registration, and you know, I think we booked our flights before we even paid the entry, right?
Yeah.
So, and we were fortunate that we got some great American friends in AO, Nico and Frankie who guested for us, so thank you guys. And you know, we were lucky enough to make it happen.
Yeah.
With 10 strong players. So you need to make it happen. If you're thinking about going, don't wait until, you know, a month before the event or a month before registration opens to make it happen. Get planning now and do it, because this is one event that is just so you can't describe it unless you've played it. It's intense. And it's the big hangout of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, get a credit card. You know,
So-
put a couple of grand on a credit card and just go. I mean, we'll definitely go next year.
I mean, ballpark figure. What do you think our average cost each was for
Including
this?
flights and hotel,
Yeah,
like all in?
everything, all in.
Yeah, I'd say just over $2 grand by the time you've gone out and had a couple of meals. I mean, you could probably do it on a bit of a budget, but like we went out to have a night out in Manhattan and stuff like that, which kind of pushed the cost up and stuff like that. But hey, you know, it's like you go on holiday. If you want to go do all the rides, take more cash. But I reckon probably $2 grand with flights and accommodation and the event and entry and everything like that. You could probably do it for that.
And paint wasn't a big cost either, right? We shot 7 boxes in the 5-man, and we shot 37 boxes in the 10-man. And granted, you know, a few boxes from the 5-man, we took 10, so there were 3 boxes that we just carried over and used for the 10-man. Spreading that cost between 10 guys, and we played with a straight 10, no rotations, because we just took the view that it's such a long way to go. We didn't want to sit anyone and, you know, make them miss a game when we were playing 2 games on each field for the prelims and then a random draw for subsequent games. So, yeah, it's not cheap, but it's probably the best weekend of paintball I've had in my life. And played a little bit of paintball, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, played
Loads.
a little bit.
Great value for money. Anyway.
So,
3 days. 3 days of paintball.
Yeah, yeah. It's a bucket lister. It's ticked off. Is 100%. You've got to get out there and do it. I mean, I think we're all still on a high from playing, not what we've achieved or where we finished or any games we won. Just playing. And I think what's interesting now is what we do with this. I think this has reignited the spark for a few. This has kind of refocused a few, and this is actually going to stimulate a lot of things back home. Maybe it will stimulate some things in 10-man classics back home in Europe. It will certainly stimulate how we play from now on, because this was the slap that we needed of, actually, this is how we play. And in order to compete, if we do come next year, we need to up our game even more. I mean, huge shout out to Dave Simpson and Ed Matthews from ECI. Both of them played lights out.
Yeah.
So I'd probably go as far as saying Dave Simpson was probably our most consistent player across the board on every field.
Yeah.
So did great. Did absolutely great. Anything else we need to mention or want to mention?
Just go.
Yeah.
Book it and go. Yeah.
Don't delay.
Don't let us be the only British team or international team that goes next year. I mean, you'll love it and you'll get treated really well. The hospitality that we were shown was fantastic. So, yeah, just go, book it and go.
Okay, question, Billy. Do you think it's a cool trip even if not playing?
Yeah, I mean, like, I said to so many people, I was like, if you've got an injury and you just want to come along for the ride, I mean, you can hang around and watch like the very best like the world has to offer go head to head.
Yeah, I mean, we saw, Lasoya's out there, JR's out there, Rocky's out there, Weasel.
Yeah. I mean, all of the old greats
All
are
of
there,
them.
but then you've got all the new ones as well, like X Factor. I mean, we got the opportunity to play against X Factor, and unless you're in the NXL, you're never going to get that opportunity to play against them again. So
Very, very true.
I would go to watch.
It's worth going to watch if you can't play. But in all honesty, if anybody out there is thinking of going and they need a team to play for, just let me know, and we can find you a team in a heartbeat. Really can. It's too good to miss out on playing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd go just for the 5-man.
So I'd go for the 10-man. Way more
Do
fun.
both if you can.
Way more fun. Yeah. Or take a Billy, and he'll do the 5-man for you. So, right, going to sign off because we've got to check into a flight soon, and who knows what's going to happen with our luck with flying. So, any final words?
Hashtag FDelta.
Not Delta fans, but very much looking forward to this Virgin Atlantic flight. Thank you guys. See you all soon. See you all soon. Oh.